Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited for today's video because in my Sephora VIB Sale haul, you know that I talked about two Shiseido foundations that I picked up, and kind of reading them, they seemed very interesting. One was a self-refreshing foundation and the other was a radiant lifting foundation, and you guys asked me to do a video comparing the two and seeing which one takes the cake, which one may not, or how they both compare. So that is today's video. So if you want to see the comparison on the two Shiseido foundations, then keep watching. Okay, so first up, I want to mention that I have both foundations on my face today. I have one on this side of my face and the other on this side of my face. So I want to see if you guys can tell the difference. How do you think my skin looks? And just give me your feedback as I'm kind of going through the foundations with you. So both foundations retail for $47. Now I just saw this morning that Nordstrom has them on sale for $39, I believe. It's 15% off. And the first Shiseido foundation that I picked up was the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. And this one is an oil-free foundation and it has SPF 30 in it. So it looks like this. The glass front is frosted, and I was really intrigued by this one simply because it said it's self-refreshing. I've never had a foundation that self-refreshes before, so I wanted to test it out and see what the hype was about. The other foundation I have is the Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. Again, this one is oil-free with SPF 30, which is great. Typically, I don't like SPF in my products. I feel like it's always a weird formula and it just never works well for my skin. But I have been testing these both interchangeably for the last 3 weeks or so. And when I do foundation reviews, I really like to test them in all aspects of my life. So just a normal day at home, going to work wearing a mask, maybe through a workout. You know, I want to see how the foundation performs through different activities that I would normally do. So when you look at both foundations side by side, you can see that this one over here, which is the Radiant Lifting one, it doesn't have the frosted glass bottle like this one. Now, one thing that I really liked that Shiseido did was the shade names and numbers are the same across all of their foundations, at least that I've noticed. So I picked them up in the shade 320 Pine in both of them. So one interesting point to note is that the bottles are the exact same size. However, the Radiant Lifting Foundation contains 1.2 ounces of product, whereas the Self-Refreshing one contains 1 ounce of product. So this Self-Refreshing Foundation, according to the Nordstrom website, it says it's a lightweight foundation formulated with active force technology that synchronizes with the skin. It self-refreshes non-stop for a 24-hour just applied look and flawless finish. And then according to Nordstrom, the Radiant Lifting Foundation is a medium to full buildable coverage foundation that delivers luminous color to your skin for up to 24 hours. Thanks to the light adjusting technology, this foundation addresses fine lines and wrinkles, uneven skin tone, and hydration loss. A combination of transparent pearls, radial microcrystals, and advanced optical fillers balance and adapt to any ambient lighting condition. This water transfer, crease, fade, and smudge resistant formula binds moisture to the skin for 24 hours of hydration. So I feel like both of these, especially the Radiant Lifting one, it's got a lot of claims. So that's why I really wanted to test them out for 3 weeks and wear them in all different situations, have them for, you know, all day wear or whatever the case may be. So So let's start with the Radiant Lifting Foundation. This foundation for sure is a very weightless formula, and I love that. The other thing I really love about this foundation is the medium to full coverage. It's very buildable. To me, it almost seems like it's more on the full coverage side. But what I love about it is after I set it with powder, I do my concealer, the whole works. My skin feels like it can breathe. My skin feels very hydrated. My skin doesn't feel dried out. And even though it helps to hydrate the skin, at the end of the day, I'm not oily. I'm not super greasy, nothing like that. It holds up very, very well. Now, it does say that it is water, smudge proof, crease proof, all of that. So I will say that with this foundation, because I have to wear a mask at work, some of it does rub off on the mask, but it's not as much as I thought it would be. I have other foundations that wipe quite a bit off, but this one holds up really, really well. Now, I haven't tested the waterproof situation, typically because if I go to the pool, I'm usually not wearing foundation, and I just decided I'm not going to shower with this on just to test that, but it does hold up really well. Now, as far as the crease proof claim, I love that it holds true for me. I have fine lines around my marionette lines. I have some fine lines under my eyes, and I feel like it held up really, really well for my skin. Now, naturally with my skin, I always experience some type of creasing, okay? I'm gonna be honest, but this didn't separate in my creases as much as other foundations. So for me, that's a win. This foundation is beautiful on the skin. And the first time I tried it, I was actually very, very surprised at how airbrushed and how flawless my skin looked. Now, going between Sephora and Nordstrom, both of these foundations got raving reviews, and now I kind of understand why so many people love the Radiant Firming Foundation. It's just beautiful on the skin. Now, let's switch over to the Self-Refreshing Foundation. This one, again, a very lightweight formula. I think it looks beautiful on the skin. Now, the coverage is just a tad bit lighter than the Radiant Firming or Radiant Lifting Foundation. And I feel like this one is more of a medium coverage. However, now I am wearing both of these foundations today, as I mentioned, and just looking in a normal mirror, you can't tell. The coverage is beautiful. My skin looks amazing in my opinion. Yes, it did not cover some of my blemishes, but I also don't always want my blemishes fully covered because I feel like throughout the day it can kind of look cakey or you can see dry flakes around that. So I don't mind that some of my blemishes are still poking through. That's just my personal preference. But if that really matters to you, then maybe you would have to add more foundation or put a concealer underneath or on top. There really is no harsh distinction between the two foundations, which I love. And I know sometimes in foundation lines, even if you try multiple foundations in the same shade, they can vary slightly. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with the Shiseido formula and the colors because these are the exact same color, just two different formulas. So I think they nailed that. Now, I do want to mention when I was testing these two foundations, I tried them with every primer that I had almost. So I had no primer, I just used moisturizer. And then I tried them with my luxury primers like the Dior, the Hourglass. I tried it with the Milk Hydro Grip. I really wanted to try different textured primers and different weighted primers to see how the foundation really reacts and how it works with different types of primers. The only thing I really noticed was if I was in a rush in the morning and I had a heavy moisturizer on and I didn't give it enough time to absorb and I applied the foundation, it did start to pill a little bit on my face. However, the pilling didn't necessarily take the foundation off, if you know what I mean. So once I applied my foundation, I had a little bit of pilling. I applied it with my setting powder and just brushed off the little pills, and my skin still looked beautiful. It wasn't the type of foundation where the more you try and fix it, the worse it gets, if you know what I mean. So that was really nice to see. Overall, my skin feels like I'm not wearing anything. It doesn't transfer. It's a really mind-blowing foundation, and I've really been enjoying both, honestly. Now, one of the claims to the Self-Refreshing Foundation is the fact that it self-refreshes over 24 hours to give you that just applied look. Now, is that claim true? I don't know, maybe, honestly speaking. I will say that at the end of the day, my skin still looks beautiful. It doesn't look overly oily. It doesn't look more creased than usual. I don't notice anything different. I think my skin still looks gorgeous. Now, I don't know that self-refreshing claim, you know, how dramatic they expect it to be. But I will say that I thought at the end of the day, my skin still looked very, very good. And I feel like I could have worn my makeup for several more hours and it still looked beautiful. But with that self-refreshing claim, I just don't know if that is something noticeable in my opinion, because at the end of the day, both of these foundations, my skin still looks beautiful. So this one doesn't have that self-refreshing claim. So I don't know if it's just part of their formula or if there really is something different and special about this foundation where it self-refreshes. I don't notice a difference, but maybe somebody who's really oily would notice a difference because they're used to being shiny midday or at the end of the day. But because I have dry skin, I just really didn't notice a difference. Now, looking at my skin, can you tell a difference and can you figure out which foundation is on which side? There is this side or this side. Can you guys tell a difference? Let me know down in the comments because I want to see if you can figure it out. So my overall thoughts on both of these foundations is just wow, honestly. I really love them both. So my overall thoughts on both of these foundations is wow, honestly. I am very impressed. I know the Shiseido beauty brand isn't talked about a lot. I'm not sure why, because so far every product that I've tried, which I have tried 2 foundations and a mascara, have been wow for me. And it feels like nobody ever talks about them. So I'm very curious and wanting to try more products from the Shiseido beauty brand. So if you want me to do a video, maybe doing a full face of Shiseido or doing a review on everything at once that I've tried, let me know down in the comments because I feel like this brand deserves a lot more credit and a lot more popularity. I mean, the products are so good. Now, when it comes to the self-refreshing foundation, did it self-refresh? Maybe. But it's very comparable to my Guerlain as far as the formula goes. However, I will say that this Shiseido one makes you look more airbrushed. It makes your skin look flawless. And I've been loving my Guerlain one. Now, if you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that Huda was my ride or die for years. Honestly, since the new formula came out, I liked it. But the more I used it, the more I just wasn't wowed by it like I thought I would be. And I just kind of put that one aside. I haven't been using it. I don't think I've used it for 2.5 months now, maybe. I've been just obsessed with my Guerlain. And then for the whole month of April almost, it's the Shiseido foundations. They're so good. And I love that they don't feel heavy on the skin. So this one I would definitely try if you are wanting a lighter coverage foundation for summer. You don't want anything super heavy, but you do want your skin to look flawless. This is a great, great option. Now, if you are wanting more coverage, then definitely pick this one up. This one is the Radiant Lifting Foundation. I love this foundation. I love the formula. I love the way it makes my skin look. Now it does claim to help disguise the look of fine lines and wrinkles. Does it? Not that I've noticed. Does it give you a lifting effect? Not really. I feel like that would come more in skincare. But as far as just a good everyday foundation that feels lightweight on the skin but gives you full coverage, this is it. This is so good. I'm so impressed with both of these foundations. And I definitely have my eye on a couple of their other foundations and concealers and powders that I'm wanting to try. So overall, I say if you want to try a new foundation, this is it. So if you are wanting to try a new foundation, definitely pick one of these up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. They just look beautiful on the skin. Now you're probably wondering why they look so different on camera. Now remember, this one's frosted and this one is not. But when you go to apply them, they are both the exact same colored foundation. So don't let the screen fool you because they are the same, which is nice. Now for the reveal, which side has which foundation on it? What are we thinking? So this side has the Self-Refreshing Foundation. And this side, my other side, obviously has the Radiant Lifting Foundation. So now that you guys know, do you see a difference? Do you not see a difference? How do you think my skin looks? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, but I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys give this foundation a try. It really blew me away. And I think the Shiseido brand needs more recognition. Nobody talks about it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye, guys.